Hello everybody, welcome to day 19 and day 20. I did not post a video yesterday because there was nothing new going on. And by the time it came time to do my video at night, I was not feeling that great. Coughing too much allergy season going on. It's that time of the year in Alabama, it's allergy season. And so that was one reason why I didn't post anything yesterday. Today, it's been a really good day. I loafed off to Florence with my family, and and if you did see me in Russellville today at the Chinese place, just forget you saw what I ate. That wasn't putting a pretty sight. No, it was also good though. It was really good. The Chinese food was really, really, really good at the Panda. Been a while since I ate at the Chinese restaurant, so I really liked it. It was really, really good. Other than that, I pretty well stuck to my diet. I drank tea today instead of Coke and water. I drank water. Did not drink any sodas today, so I did good on that. No sodas. So didn't eat any salad either, but I did have some fruit. Supper, I had some potatoes, and that was really good. I enjoyed my potatoes. I tried a new recipe. I know it was like out of a box, like baked potato stuff, but it was really good. It was a Tuscan Parmesan or something like that. It was really good. And then there was some sweet potato fries, but I baked them. No, they weren't fried. So that was really good. And I had tea and water, so that was good too. I just wanted to say that I appreciate everybody praying for me, and I appreciate all the support and all that everybody does and says, the comments and stuff and the encouragement. I appreciate it so much. Tomorrow is going to be a busy day for me. My daughter is having surgery tomorrow morning early, and so I'm going to be at the hospital most of the day tomorrow. But it's just one of those things, It's just going to be a long day tomorrow. And if I get a chance, I will post tomorrow afternoon sometime. I have no clue what lunch or anything like that's going to be tomorrow. It's just going to be probably something from the cafeteria or something from Jack's or Mickey D's or something simple. Something quick. It may just be something to drink tomorrow. It may not be any food involved. It may just be just something to drink. Just not sure yet. But just remember her in your prayers. And I thank y'all, like I said, so much, And wish I'd have got a video this evening of Coco playing in the clover. Him and Roscoe did not get along. My cat. Roscoe was not a happy cat. He didn't like Roscoe did not like Coco. They looked like they were going to play really nice together, and then all of a sudden, Roscoe hauls off and hits Coco. So, yeah, that did not go over very well. But other than that, Coco had fun frolicking in the clover, along with Bruiser. They had a good time out in the clover. So, as you know, I'm the type of person that I will rescue a dog. I will take a dog home with me. And Bruiser, he's a rescue dog, and so is Coco, basically. And so, what we're going to do is we're just going to raise them, we're going to love them, we're going to hug them, and call them Coco and Bruiser. Used to that little Daffy Duck cartoon about Bugs Bunny. Well, hug him and squeeze him and call him George. Nah, we're not. Go call them Bruiser and Coco. But I really do. I like my dogs. I like my puppies, and I just wished I had my own house with my own yard, that I had fenced-in yard so they could play and have fun. And I wished I had a swing on a porch and some rocking chairs and a big old glass of sweet tea. That'd be worth it. A rocking chair, a porch, and a sweet tea. Yeah, that's it now, let me tell y'all. And for those who don't know the pleasures of sweet tea in the South, you're missing out, let me tell you. Nowadays I get a half cut, usually. You know, that's a half sweet and half unsweet. But it turns out pretty good, usually, and I like it. Doesn't pump as much sugar into you, but it's really good anyway. Um, but that's something I miss from childhood. You know, we would go to aunts' houses and uncles' houses, and they all, our aunties as we called them, they always had a gallon of sweet tea and some kind of sweets. Now, back in the day, a Southern woman did not have an afternoon where you didn't have coffee or tea and something sweet. They always had a cake made or a pie made, or they had fried apple pies made. That was just something that a Southern woman did not do. She did not have something if somebody come by unawares, you know. They used to stop by. People used to come by and drink coffee. That's all they came for, is maybe a good cup of coffee and a piece of pie, you know. And or maybe some biscuits with some jelly. I mean, some really good homemade jelly, you know. Very good. But I can remember when I was a kid, you know, like I said, you go to somebody's house and they'd be on the porch, and you get your sweet tea. We just sit with them and rock too, you know, because even if you was a kid, you were allowed to sit on the porch and you were allowed to rock and you were allowed sweet tea. Community coffee, though, that was something you didn't get till you got a little older. It was like, you ain't getting no coffee right now. Nope, it ain't happening. And my mama and my aunts, you know, that's what they would do. They would have the community coffee, and I'm telling you, they'd have that dark roast coffee. And it'd be so strong, and you could smell it in the morning. Let me tell y'all, if you have never smelled community coffee brewing in the morning, especially that hard dark roast, and that stuff was the best coffee. But it's an eye-opener, let me tell you. It'll wake you up. But you smell that community coffee in the morning, that dark roast, and you're like, wow, that's some good stuff right there. And you smell that, and your mama say, no, you can't have none, you can have some tea. And you're like, well, I don't want tea, I want coffee. And you didn't get coffee till you got on up till you was old, like a teenager. When you got maybe about 10 or 11, they might let you have some coffee. And before that, at maybe 8 or 9, you might get some community coffee milk, which that was community coffee, the dark roast. And it was watered down with a lot of milk and some sugar. And that's what you had. That stuff was pretty good. Now, if you got that, you were really, really, really in high cotton, as they used to say. That was a treat. Parched peanuts was a treat too. Now, when you raised your own peanuts, now, like used to, people raised their own peanuts, and most anything they had, they raised. And I remember we had peanuts. We raised peanuts, and we'd parch them, and that was the best peanuts. Now, harvesting them peanuts by hand, that's another story. I'll tell you a little about that one. My daddy raised some peanuts one year. We was out there, and it was time to harvest the peanuts, and you got to pull them up by the roots. Well, here I am. I'm just about maybe 7 or 8, you know, and I'm out there in the garden, and I'm pulling up peanuts. I'll be daggum. I pulled up that root, and there was a ground rattler. I dropped my peanuts, boom, and took off. Daddy killed the ground rattler, and he said, just be careful next time. Watch what you're pulling up. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. That was not a very good experience, I'm telling you, to get your peanuts up out that ground, and there's that ground rattler looking at you like, I got your number. It was awful sometimes, y'all. And you had a job in the summertime sometimes, too. You had to keep the crows out the corn. You didn't have a scarecrow. You were the scarecrow. Of course, I didn't mind because it was fun. Because the corn stalks would be huge compared to what I was. They were tall, and I could run underneath them, and have fun. And sometimes at night, you go out in the cornfield. It's your job to keep the coons out the corn. I'm like, no, it ain't my job to keep the coons out the corn at night. Mm-mm. But raccoons could strip the cornfield, just well, deer can too. But yeah, you had to be watchful. And we had a persimmon tree. Now a lot of people don't know about persimmons, but we had a persimmon tree, and possums love persimmons, and they would climb up in the persimmon tree, and they loved them. I mean, I liked the persimmons. They were sour, but they were good. I liked the taste. But the possums liked them better than I did. And sometimes you'd have to go shoot a possum out of the tree, but you know how that is. People nowadays, they don't know nothing about stuff like that. And they don't know nothing about trying to keep the crows out the corn neither, It's a different way of life now. It's not like that laid back, go to your grandma's or your mama's house, and they have fresh tomato plants and fresh peppers and fresh okra. And okra, I love okra, but I didn't like cutting okra because it would make you itch. I mean, you just like, because it's itchy. But when you took that in there, that fresh okra, and you fried that fresh okra, that was some good stuff. And if you were lucky, they had fresh peas, and you get fresh peas and fresh butter beans and fresh corn, and it's just nothing like it comes out of the garden. And like tomatoes, now you get them from the store. I mean, I'm not knocking it. I mean, it's convenient, but they don't taste the same. Just don't have that earthy smell like after rain, and it just, you could smell the tomatoes. You can smell them when they were ripening. And you go out there and you pick your tomato, and you go in and you slice that tomato, and you put just some salt on it. That's the way I always did. And maybe you put it in the refrigerator just for a little while, and then you eat that tomato. Oh, it was so good. And cucumbers, you grow your own cucumbers too, and you go out there and pick you a couple of cucumbers, and go hunting, do the same thing, go and slice them up and put a little salt on them. You was good to go with that. You had your own salad there going on. But 9 times out of 10, the cucumbers were for pickles, for dill pickles or bread and butter pickles. Every once in a while, it was sweet pickles. Now, I always made bread and butter pickles where my mama made sweet pickles. Now, one of my aunts, she always made dill pickles, and those were good too. And there's nothing like a fresh batch of pickles. It's just come out the garden fresh, and you make them, and you smell, the whole house smells like pickles. It's like awesome. But a lot of people, they don't understand that. They don't get that. They don't know that part of the generation thing. It was fun. It was hard work, but it was fun. And I do miss that sometimes. I miss those homegrown veggies, because there's just nothing like homegrown veggies. And I hate that people nowadays, they don't get that. Not like we did, Because everybody you knew, your aunts, your uncles, your grandpas, your grandmas, they all had gardens, and they all had veggies, and and that was awesome too. If you had meat, they killed their own meat. They did the meat thing. They had the smokehouses, and a lot of people, they say, "Oh, you guys had meat. You killed your own meat," but they did. And the smokehouse, oh. I remember Daddy tore ours down, and I hated that, because you could go in there. That smokehouse was ancient when I was a kid, and you would go in the smokehouse, and it would just be like, it smelled like fresh bacon, like hickory smoked bacon. That's what it smelled like. And if you've never been inside an old timey smokehouse, I mean like one that was ancient, and it had been used for years and years and years and years, and that's all you could smell was smoked meat. I mean, it was really a good smell. That was just something you grew up with. Now, nowadays, people go, "Oh, you like that?" But that kind of smell brings you home, to what I know. And like I said, I hated it when he tore down that smokehouse. because that was awesome. Awesomely awesome. And my grandma, she had a pit dug under her house for taters. And it was for sweet potatoes and root vegetables like turnips and stuff like that. And you had to be careful not fall in the pit. That was one of your things. You stay out of that pit now. If you want a tater, we'll dig it out. You can. Sometimes you sneak out there and dig out your own tater, but you didn't tell nobody because they get kind of hyper because you dug out your own tater. But yeah. And one of my aunts, she didn't have the big deep pit like Grandma did, but she had, I guess it was about yay deep, and it was real wide. I mean, it was like room wide, and it was in her little dark smokehouse thing, and it'd be full of sweet potatoes and white potatoes or russet potatoes, or red potatoes, and that was the awesomest thing too. You just go out there and just get you a potato and bring it in and chop it up and fry it or bake it. Of course, back then it wasn't nothing to fry. You fried everything. You were Southern. You fried everything. You did not bake. You did bake, but I mean it was cakes and pies and cookies and stuff. But you fried them potatoes. You fried that okra. You fried that squash, and fried green tomatoes. That's some good stuff now. That's some real good stuff. But now they bake a lot of it. I know when I was a kid, I liked raw potatoes. You peel the potatoes, and you wash them, and you just cut them up, and you ate them before you fried them. And that was the best thing because they'd be cool, and they would taste so good. Just that fresh, earthy ground taste to it. It was just really good. It's hard to describe. It's hard to tell somebody that had not went through that what that was like. You can describe it, but they still can't get the concept, that earthy, that smell, and that taste that was awesome. That's all I could say. But I've reminisced enough for one night, so I'm going to let y'all go. But God bless you, and God keep you in the palm of His hands. Just wrap you up in His loving arms and love you. And y'all have a blessed night. God bless y'all. Good night. Bye-bye.